Hey guys, what's up? This is Josh with Josh's Lawn Care. I want to do a quick video today on maintaining and sharpening your blades and cleaning out the deck. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Most people already know how to do all this. I mean, you just clean out from underneath it, but I thought that I would show you a little bit of how I do it. And I'm pretty particular about my blades. I sharpen them 3 or 4 times a week. And 9 times out of 10, I think on my last video, I'm always hitting stuff, like stuff that you can't see and rocks and stuff like that. And anytime I hit something, that's an indicator to go ahead and sharpen your blades when you get done at the end of the day. It just makes the grass look a lot better. It cuts a lot more smoother and stuff like that. So we'll get started on this and I'll show you what I do. Okay, we are now looking underneath the deck of my mower. As you can see, I'll pick the camera up here. As you can see, it's not too bad. It's not too dirty. Usually I have a lot more grass and stuff build up underneath there and everything like that. But I don't know if you can see. You see my blade right there? You see how bad that looks where I've been hitting stuff, rocks. Now this blade here is in a lot better shape. And the blade that I had in here in the middle was bent on the end down there, the original one. So what I did is I went to my local hardware store, and they're a dealer for X Marks, and I got an X Marks blade. And I'll show you the comparison here in a minute when I get the blades taken off. But I did notice that this blade here is the exact same as the rest of them, except that the blade goes further down and it's lighter weight. But overall the dimensions are the same. Now you see this right here? I've been hitting stuff with this blade as well. I mean, I've just really hit some stuff yesterday, and when you're doing this, you're going to run into these kind of things where you're hitting stuff. So we'll go ahead and take off the blade. And you know, I never use a impact driver. A lot of people use impact drivers. But I just use, you know, just a regular wrench. A 15/16 is the size that you need, and I'll just use that all the time. But the reason I don't use an impact is if you're out on a job somewhere or something, you damage a blade and you've got a spare that you need to put on, you may have some trouble getting it off if it's snugged on there too tight. And it's really ridiculous to put them on there that tight. They're not going to go anywhere because the motion that they're turning in is always tightening the bolt anyway, so there's no way for the bolt to loosen itself. But what I do is I just snug them on, and it's a whole lot easier to get off. And you make sure you wear gloves so you don't cut yourself. But you just hold one end and then turn the other, and see how that does? Real easy. It's not hard to get off, and I just spin the blade like this and turn the nut so that it just kind of falls off. It's real not time consuming, but it's a lot better on time. You don't have to spend all that time just sitting there and twisting it. The blade kind of helps you work the bolt out, see, and it comes right out. Now see, that looks good. That side of the blade looks good. But now when you look at this side here, you see that damage right there? That's from hitting a rock or something yesterday. I'm not sure. But I think it's important that every day, if you've got a little time in the morning before you leave out, or that evening when you get back, always inspect your blades and, you know, and make sure everything's ready to go for the next day. Because it has a lot to do with the quality of cut that you're cutting and everything. And some people just don't care, you know. Some people will just, you know, they'll just, here we are. I'm laying down underneath my mower. They just cut it like that, you know, and everything, and then, I wonder why it ain't cutting right. So that's a lot of the reason for it. And then, you know, if your deck's not level, I've been spending some time leveling my deck, trying to get it just right. And I think it's important also to check your tire pressure in your tires every day, because I don't know, I could put, the manual calls for 13 pounds of air in each tire, but now I'll come out here the next day and I may have only 12 pounds of air in my tire, and you know, and if this one still has the other one still has 13 and this one has 12, it's going to make your cut bad. And I think it's important every day to check your tire pressure before you leave. If you don't check your blades, at least check your tire pressure. Okay, we're gonna take these blades off, the rest of them, and I'm gonna sharpen them up and show you that. Okay guys, I've got the blade off and I'm ready to sharpen. You know, when you prop your mower up, I'm using a floor jack, but I also have a bottle or a jack stand in case it was to fall. And if you can, find you a good piece of cardboard, a big piece of cardboard. See how I've got it all up underneath my mower. Now, you know, it didn't look like I had that much stuff, but when I started scraping underneath there where that blade was, look at all that grass that came out from under there. That will have everything to do in the world with your cut. You know, the slightest bit of debris and everything in there can affect the vacuum of pulling the grass up and getting the best, you know, cut. But I have this blade over here. And now that you can kind of see it a little bit better, you see that? Do you see that edge right there? That's where I've hit some rocks or something like that. And before you start sharpening, always make sure you got your safety glasses on. I'm not being a nerd, I'm just trying to be safe, and you got gloves on. But the way I do this is I sharpen this side a couple of times, turn it over, and just run it across this side one time. You don't really focus on this side that much. It just gets the burrs off after you sharpen this side. So what I usually do is I just have a little workbench right here. I just set everything out on. I use a hand grinder and kind of use the surface of the table as my point of reference as far as getting the right kind of edge on it. But I'll show you a little bit of how I do it. And you may not be able to see it that well because I don't have a third hand, so you just kind of watch how I do it. Go ahead and start. I didn't really spend a lot of time on that because, like I said, it was already sharp, but I wanted to give you an idea of how I do it. And you just keep doing that until you get a good edge on it and you feel a good sharp edge. Now I've got over here in my vise a screwdriver that I use to balance it with. And it looks like it might be just a little heavier on this side. So what you would do is you would just take a little bit more off on this side just to make it more level. You don't want it going down here or like that. And another thing you might want to use is you pick up these little balancers at the hardware store. To me, they seem a little more accurate as far as getting a good balance on the blade. You just set it in there like that. See? Says it's level. Otherwise it would be like that or like that if it wasn't. So I think we've got a good balance on that blade. Okay, I've got this, I got the original X mark blade off. I mean the original Toro blade, and then I have the X mark blade. Now as you can see, man, there isn't a lot of difference in the blades. But there is one difference. The edge of this one goes here, which doesn't really matter because you can see that it's only being worn from here to here. That much is what's cutting, and this isn't really cutting anything here. Now, I'm not really sure what the purpose of that edge is there other than maybe mulching, maybe for leaves or something like during the fall. I'm not sure. But the other difference is, and I can't, you know, they're both, I mean, they're just really identical, except for the edge. And then the X mark blade here, this one here, is a little lighter than this one. It's not quite as heavy. And I'm wondering, the difference of that, I'm wondering, is because of this one's lighter, will it get a little more RPMs? Will it get a little more speed under there and less drag on the engine? It might save your fuel if you go the X mark route versus the Toro route, because this one's a little heavier. I was kind of wondering about that. So Might want to try that out. I've got them mixed up right now because I had one go bad on me. One was bent yesterday, and I don't have a Toro dealer right in my hometown. It was 30 minutes away. So I needed a quick fix on my way to a yard, and I put it on there, and but it didn't affect the cut or anything like that. Everything cut the same, cut really well yesterday. So I'm going to try to just go back and get 2 more. They're like $18 tax and all if you buy them. So I need to get 2 more. And then, you know, like I said, while you're under your mower, you want to make sure that you're cleaning out the underneath of your deck. Just inspect your belts. I think it's real important to check these things out because you don't want to be out in the field or have a really busy day and notice that there's something that you could have fixed while you're on your downtime. And then now, because you didn't check to look at it, you're having to do it in rush trying to mow a yard at the same time. So you need to do it on your downtime. Like today it's kind of rainy outside. And so my schedule, I did a little extra work yesterday so I could get caught up and not have anything to do today because I was told that it was going to rain. So I took the liberty today just to take this time to clean out my mower, sharpen my blades, check my oil, look at my belts and all that. Because like I said, you don't have time to do it when you're busy and you're mowing for people. But this right here that I showed you in another video, this is my new mower, Maury. I call him Maury, Big Red, 60-inch cut with a Kawasaki engine. So far, I've had him for about 3 weeks. I've had him for 3 weeks and I've put 45 hours on it. I use it more than I do my 52-inch cut. My 52 is right here. I use my 52 for smaller yards. I'm going to put some air in that front tire right there. See there? There's just another reason why. It's got a little bulge in it. There's another reason why you're supposed to inspect this stuff and check it out every day, because you don't want to be out there empty-handed and not have, you know, not have the means to try to fix it while you're mowing, and then you ain't got time to go and run and do extra stops. So anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit about me sharpening my blades and cleaning out the underneath my mower and the importance of just checking in on everything when you're not real super busy. Checking your tire pressure. I mean, it gets kind of old having to do it every day, but you like I said, you don't want to be out doing it and have a bunch of stuff to do. You want to make sure you can do it in the evenings or in the mornings before you leave. Check it out and just do your maintenance. Thank y'all for watching, and be careful. Always wear your safety glasses when you're mowing and wear gloves so you don't cut yourself. I know one time I was sharpening my blades and tightening one up. My fingers slipped and I almost had to have stitches. I mean, it got me that bad. So y'all take care. Have a great day. Keep watching my videos. Like, subscribe, and share, and then comment below. And we'll see you around on the next video.